Hello Aquarius, and welcome to my channel Inspiring Life Changes. Welcome back to those of you who've been here before, and welcome to those of you who haven't been here but you've come over to find out what it's about. Thank you for coming over and welcome to my channel. As I said, my name is Colette and I'm an intuitive tarot reader of over 30 years experience, and I'm here today to do a reading for all Aquarians who are Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising and Cusp Aquarians. If you don't know where those placements are, there will be a free link in the description box down below for you to go and check that out for yourselves as well, Aquarius. Also, for you cross-watchers, you Aquarian cross-watchers out there, if you want to also check out your own natal chart as well, that always helps to give yourself a bigger picture of what's going on in your life at this time. You may know your sun sign, you may know where your moon is, you may know where the other planets are as well, but you may not know the exact degrees, and that is always helpful because it can show you a bigger picture of what is taking place in your life at this present time, and of course into the future as well. So with all that being said, Aquarius and Aquarius cross-watchers, I am going to begin this reading. I tried doing this video about a few minutes ago, and for some reason my timer was at the bottom, so it was upside down literally. So I don't know if that's got anything to do with you, Aquarius, if you're feeling like your world is upside down at this time for some reason, but there's an interesting dynamic and story that is appearing through your cards at this time. So I've set them out as per usual at the moment in 3 sets of 3. So we've got 3 at the top representing your past energy, 3 in the middle representing your present energy, and 3 at the bottom representing the energy that you're moving forward and into. And that's to show how your past is creating your present, which is going to create your future. So you do have free will. You can change your future energy if you become aware of what is happening. If you can see, there is this thing called holographic viewing. In a way, I think holographic viewing is probably the best way to describe it, and it kind of basically says that you see what's happened in your past, you're aware of what's happening in your present, and if you put the two together and kind of see where your path is leading you into your future, you can at that time decide that you don't want to take that path, and that you can change the energy that you're in at that present time to create something else. So that's why I've set it out in 3 sets of 3. Like I said, interesting dynamic, Aquarius. I'm going to start with your first card here, which is the Hermit energy. Which I know we've all kind of been in this energy. We've all kind of had to lock ourselves away behind closed doors and kind of do a lot of reflecting at this time. So it could have something to do with this, but I feel as though it's on a deeper level as well. Hermit energy is always on a deeper level. It's a major arcana, so it is about this kind of self-seeking and questing energy. You don't have to be in solitude to feel as though you're in hermit energy, though. You can also be involved in outside social activities and be in a group of people that you've known for a long time even, and just feel as though you're disconnected from everything, like you're not fitting in anymore, like it doesn't make sense to you, like it's no longer your energy on an energetic level. It's like it's not giving you or feeding you or nourishing you in the same way as previously. And when this kind of starts to happen, that's when we can kind of close off to the outside world a lot more, mentally and emotionally as well as physically. So it is a kind of very reflective period of time. It does relate to the Virgo energy as well. Virgo energy also being ruled by Chiron can also be about self-healing as well. So the Hermit can imply a need for healing, which is why we sometimes have to close ourselves off from the world in order to kind of reflect and look at our lives and see where we're heading, where we've come from, and where we are at present. If you see this card, you can see his face kind of poking out from that world. So it's kind of the inner and the outer world at the same time, and maybe trying to make sense of a lot of it as well. But I feel that it took you back to a time of more innocence, is what I'm seeing here in this card today. This kind of innocent energy. A creative period in your life, because the messenger of fire is about creativity. So it could have been to do with a... what I'm getting here is that this is like a time of when something is new, when something is just kind of coming, almost like stepping into something new, like an energy of just, yeah, stepping out to experience things. Learning about yourself, learning about your own creativity, learning about your place in the world is kind of how I'm seeing this today, with this Hermit card as well. What is your place in the world? But it's a messenger, so it's almost like when you were going within, this came along, this going within, this reflective energy. It feels like going back to a time of, like I was saying, innocence. I don't think it's childhood. It feels more like a time of maybe early teens or 20s, early 20s, mid-20s maybe, but a time of kind of looking around at the world, at your world. And I just feel like asking yourself, where do I fit in? Where's my place in all of this? What is my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing here? And maybe feeling quite maybe alone, maybe feeling that you didn't fit in, maybe feeling that you were different. Unusual, maybe feeling awkward, shy, embarrassed. Messenger of fire energy is usually, or the fire energy itself is usually very dynamic and very kind of out there and very, but I feel it's more a sense of you kind of wanting to hide in a way. And I think, again, with this Hermit energy as well, you kind of wanting to hide behind that door. And maybe this is something that happens for you, Aquarius, quite a lot in your life. Maybe you get these periods of times where you just do want to hide away and just reassess and reevaluate who you are, what you're doing, why you're here. Where's your purpose? What is your purpose? How do I fit in? Why do I feel different? Why, even when I'm in a crowded room with people that I know, do I still feel sometimes that I'm with complete strangers? Is what's coming through for me with this card today, or these two cards together. And interestingly, we have this Empress card, which has come out after this. So I'm kind of getting the feeling that this This is the older version of you here. This is you kind of grown up. This is you having experienced life. Again, it doesn't have to be female energy, even though this is the divine feminine energy that's here. But this is more, I'm getting this more as a feeling about something. And what's come through for me quite strongly today, I'm just going to show you, sorry about my squeaky chair here, is her lips. And I've never noticed this before, but there is something on those lips which are, it's like my lips are sealed. Don't know if you can see that. But there's like these markings, and it looks to me today as though she's saying my lips are sealed. Whatever it is that you kind of have discovered about yourself maybe, or about the world, or about your part in it. There is something that you are keeping quiet about here. Something that you are not expressing. Because the Empress is often about abundance and fertility and like really kind of giving energy. For me, she represents Mother Nature. Nature itself, somebody who's very bountiful, very giving, but it's in reverse here. So, but it feels more today like a secret, like something that's being kept quiet. Because like I was saying, these that are on her lips, that's probably slightly better, these symbols which look as though her lips have been kind of sealed shut in a way, shall we say. So there could be something that you are keeping quiet about here, Aquarius, with all this energy. The Hermit. But something that you may have learnt about yourself, about the world, about those around you. But something I feel that you're not ready or willing or able even to share at this time. And it's interesting because the way that she's holding this bundle here to her heart and a kind of heart chakra energy, and it's almost like this is mine, this is my secret, this is something that is just right about me. Something, again, it's that kind of feeling of difference and uniqueness, and this kind of sense of this being symbolic of the secret itself in a way. Holding on to this here is your secret, is what keeps coming up for me. Your personal understanding of you, of the world, but something that you're not sharing. And we move into your present energy with the Strength card here, which is in reverse. So you may feel as though you're in a situation where things are kind of being used against you, or this energy somehow that you're having to keep quiet about is being used, not against you so much, but it almost feels as though you want to say something but you feel as though you can't, or you're holding back on something for some reason here. I see the Strength card as being the balancing of the masculine and the feminine energies as well, knowing when to be active and doing and strong and and protective even, and when to use the more kind of feminine, gentle, receptive, softer approach. So it's like we all have both of these energies within us. We have both the masculine and the feminine within all of us. Some of us have a lot more masculine energy and some of us have a lot more feminine energy, and that's within both the masculine and the feminine, if you know what I mean. A man can be very feminine and a woman can be very masculine. And in my personal opinion, a lot of that comes down to astrology as well. And where the planets are in your own astrological chart can have a big bearing on how you approach your life and your way of dealing with things as well. But for me today, this strength card is saying that there is something that you are not expressing here. Again, it's come out twice. I get the same feeling here with this, which is why I feel it's not as if somebody else is holding it against you. It's not like somebody else is saying you've got to keep this secret. It's you that's doing it. But it's almost like this feeling of it being too much, or it's getting overwhelming. Because the strength card in reverse is saying to me that there's like an imbalance. There's something that's not, you're not feeling comfortable with anymore. And so this kind of inner strength, which is what the strength card, when it's up the right way, implies, this kind of inner strength of balance and knowing how to use the masculine and the feminine energy, and when to be active, when to be a lot more kind of receptive and non-doing. When it's in reverse, it's kind of saying that there's that kind of anxiety in a way. I'm feeling like this anxiety or something that's kind of saying, you know, are you sure you're doing the right thing here? Are you sure that that's how you should be approaching this? But this is things that you're saying to yourself, I feel. I don't feel as though there's anybody else particularly involved in this. But that's not to say that there isn't other people around you. But I get the feeling that it's getting to the point where you feel as though you need to bring it out. From the past, or from the I think that's what all these rays down here are saying to me, that, you know, it needs to be brought into the light. It needs to be vocalized here. Because I'm even feeling that this lion is kind of wanting to roar here, but he can't because he's being held back. And I don't know whether that's because you fear what other people may think or say or do, Aquarius, when you express whatever this is that you need to express. And the Page of Fire is the next card that we have come out here for you, Aquarius, which has come out underneath this Messenger of Fire as well. And this is the center energy. This is the heart energy. So again, I feel as though it's going back to this time of innocence, of childhood. The Page of Fire again is an energy of wanting to like, it's curious mind energy. It's curious, it wants to know more, it wants to learn more about things, it wants to explore, it wants to understand, which may be also why the Hermit energy is up there as well. But I feel as though with this particular card today, again, it's this sense of keeping something from your childhood, because it is a very childlike energy as well, the Page of Four, particularly when it's upside down as well. But there's a creativity and an imagination amongst this as well. And with this tiger down here as well, this kind of, I see this as a protecting energy, possibly even like a spiritual protectress. Maybe it's got something to do with this lion energy here as well, this strength energy. Maybe that's how you feel strong. But it's almost, I feel as well this could well be like a fantasy world that you retreat to here, Aquarius. Like when everything else gets too much, it's kind of like you go back to this place, this kind of world of make-believe in a way, or fantasy, or how you would like things to be, or how you wish to see the world. But again, there's an innocence here. There's also transformation taking place here as well. There is a transformation. And we have the Five of Earth as the next card that's come out here. And the Five of Earth traditionally is about feeling left out, feeling as though you've been abandoned, left to get on with it. But it can also be an energy of kind of, with this Hermit energy as well, of wanting to blend into the background, of wanting to not be, and maybe that's what this Page of Fire is saying in reverse as well, that you subdue this side of yourself, this kind of more inner world that you have, this understanding, this inner world, this creativity, this how am I seeing it? It's coming through as like, again, this kind of this secret energy of something that you know, but it's something that you're again, kind of, you know, you're holding on. It's like, it's mine. This is my world. This is my, I don't want to share it. I don't want other people in it. It's like, I don't want to bring it out into the open, is kind of how I'm feeling with this at the moment. But this Five of Earth energy is kind of also saying that if you don't bring it out into the open, because there's the light behind you here as well, Aquarius, the light shining behind you. If you don't bring it out into the open, it's going to stagnate. It's not going to grow. It's just going to become it's just going to stay the same. And it almost feels as though it's an energy that wants to come out. It feels like it's an energy that wants to come through you somehow. Like maybe a creative idea or something that's going to have a big effect on your life, on the people around you. But you're subduing it. Whatever it is, you're subduing it. Whatever it is, you're kind of keeping it. And maybe that's what this is about. It's kind of taking all your strength and your energy to keep it that way. And so you feel as though this is draining you. You feel as though your strength is being kind of used against you. But it feels to me as though it's something that wants to come out. It's something that wants to be seen and explored and to stop the stagnation. And I'm seeing this on top of her head here, like all that growth. It's like all of that growth is all these kind of this fantasy, these ideas, this kind of fantastical world that you're not allowing to come to life. Aquarius is what I'm feeling here. It feels like there's so much more there that you're not allowing. Maybe you're not even allowing yourself to explore it anymore. And the energy that we've got come out after this, the Hierophant in reverse, which is you moving into the future, is saying to me that there's going to be a situation here of where you are going to kind of lose faith maybe for a while, or question your tradition, your family tradition, your conditioning, all of those things that have been kind of put on you as being how the world is and how the world should look and how you should behave and how everything is supposed to have a place and a sense of not rocking the boat as well somehow. And I feel as though it's tied into this creativity here. It's tied into this energy that's at the heart of this reading. And the heart of the reading for me is the energy that goes out and comes in, which kind of creates the rest of where you are right now. And so what I'm feeling is like this creative, fantastical world, or whatever it is that is within you, because that's what I'm feeling this is within you. This is kind of like your soul or your spirit energy here, your energetic energy that you aren't expressing, Aquarius. And that's how it's coming out for me today. You're not expressing it. And it could take you to places, is also what I'm feeling here as well, with this light in the background. It's almost like that light is calling you calling you in. The light is kind of saying, turn around, look behind you, because behind you is where the secrets or the answers that you're looking for lie. I'm getting goosebumps as I'm saying this, and for some reason I'm also getting that this could be a story that somebody needs to write. For some of you Aquarians out there, this could be a story that some of you need to write. Definite goosebumps. So yeah, there's going to be, I feel as though there's going to be a time where you are really going to question all that you see or feel or understand as being your foundation, is what I'm seeing here. Kind of this stone here, your foundation, what you've built your understanding and your wisdom and your knowledge on so far to date, or what has been kind of conditioned into you as how the world, as I was saying, how the world is, how it should be, because this is about faith, it's about tradition, it's about believing that there's a certain way of doing something and that things are set in stone. And therefore it has to be done this same way over and over again. And this for me is you really challenging that, or it's challenging you, Aquarius. And the energy that you come into next here with the Two of Air, for me this is my kind of hypnotic mesmerized kind of energy. Like mesmerized and hypnotized, and I feel it's about following, because it's upside down. I feel as though it's about you kind of realizing that you have been following this path, and it comes with this, after this Hierophant energy as well. And because it's air energy, this is about you questioning, I feel, your wisdom, your knowledge, your understanding of things, and how you've kind of been mesmerized and caught up in all of this. And you followed a certain path because that's how you've been told. That's what you've been told is the right thing to do. So there is also within this card an element of decision making, an element of deciding whether you're going to carry on down that path or whether you're going to, I feel, release this energy, is what I'm kind of picking up here. Whether you're going to release this energy, whether you're going to own it or allow it some freedom, is also what I'm picking up here. Allow some freedom. Air energy, again, communication, writing. It keeps coming up for me. And also there's a quill here as well, which should normally is represented as a sword, but in this deck it is about the pen, because the quill represents the pen being mightier than the sword as well. So maybe that's something else that it's saying, is that your story needs to be told to release something, maybe for other people's benefit as well here. Because on her back she also has this kind of symbol, kind of these geometric designs. I don't know if you could actually see that there. It's quite difficult to get it in the right light. But it's like geometric designs, and they can also be very hypnotic and kind of pull you in and kind of hypnotized, kind of that energy of hypnotism. So it could also be to do with your own education here as well, which may have been very limiting, and you may find that you need to break free. But this is about breaking free. This is kind of what I'm feeling. Because the card that comes out next is the Nine of Earth here. The Nine of Earth is very much about self-worth. But for me, what's really interesting and what's coming out quite strongly today is, as I was saying, whatever this is here, whatever that means to you personally, Aquarius, here she's holding it in her hand, and if you can see, there are like these little sparkly bits all around it where her hands are. She's holding it really gently, and there's all these little sparkly bits coming out of it. It's like magic. It's like a kind of awareness of this magic, and that's, for me, this is the release of whatever this is, whatever this has been held back, kept quiet within you. This is you, I feel, Aquarius, accepting it within yourself, which is possibly also what this energy is about here as well. Those saying you having to make a decision as to whether you are going to carry on the same way or whether you're going to release it and allow it and accept it as well. I feel accept it as being very important, it's like a very important message that you've kind of maybe even come through with, or you've learnt on the way, that almost like you've been told something, almost like, and so, but it feels more as though it's kind of like a spiritual thing than like an energetic. It's like from another dimension, from another realm, from another level of understanding is how I want to say it, from another level of understanding. And it's like something that you have been given to as a gift to bring out, to bring forward. I get this sense of bringing it forward, a sense of kind of like saying, okay. And there may be a fear here that you like no longer have this anonymity, because she's wearing this mask and she's got a hood up. But there is this sense of, I'm feeling like this sense of acceptance of like, okay, well, that's what I have to do. That's my purpose. That's why I came here. That's what it's all about. Now you can see it a bit better with those sparkly bits around the flower. And that's, for me, this same energy here, whereas it's been kept kind of, it's like you're bringing it to life, is what I'm feeling. You're bringing it to life. You're finally bringing it to life. And all this is like the past. This is all, but it's all relevant. It's all relevant. It's all really important, and it's all a part of this. Everything is connected here, but it's all a part of this energy here. So I'm going to pull some Motherpeace cards and see what we get here. So we have the Nine of Cups, which is in reverse. I'm going to put it over this Hermit energy. So it's saying to me that there was something here about, because this is the past energy, something about a wish not being fulfilled here. Something about them, the happiness that you were wanting or looking for. You didn't find it in the outside world. You didn't find it in the outside world. And maybe that's why you retreated into your own world here. Because whatever it was, it didn't give you, the outside world didn't give you the happiness here that you were hoping for or looking for, Aquarius. So let's see what the Messenger of Fire is saying here. Five of Swords. In reverse. Interesting, because the Five of Swords can be a self-sabotaging energy. And it has a bee or a wasp in the middle of that as well. So it could be something about feeling as though you were stung, feeling as though life stung. That you didn't seem to be getting anywhere as well with this energy, because the swords just kept going round and round. It's kind of feeling like this energy of just repeating things maybe over and over again. This repetition, and you feeling as though your life was just still painful. Or that the outside world was not, like I was saying, that the outside world was disappointing. The outside world didn't fulfill you. And we have the Eight of Discs over the top of this Empress energy here. So you could have also felt as though you've been let down by this Empress energy. And that it was really hard work, that things were hard work, that having to maybe, or reaching a point where you kind of got to a point where you thought you were achieving something, and then you had to start all over again. Because the Eight's often about a sense of having to redo things. So you may have felt that you kept getting to this point, and then, or that you were going to almost get to this point of being able to achieve what you wanted to achieve, but then you had to go back to the start of the energy again here. But it's, again, because it's in reverse as well, I still get this feeling of something that you were keeping. Like, this is the outside world. Again, I feel as though this is the outside world, the mundane, the kind of doing everything over and over again. The normality, the banality of it all, the mundaneness, the feeling of not achieving, not getting any rewards from it or joy from it, or happiness from it, and maybe that's also why this Empress card is in reverse here as well. And maybe that's also why you retreated into your own world, or into this world that was kind of much more real on some level to you than the actual real world itself, Aquarius. Two cards have turned over here. Three of Swords. Oh, actually, there's a few. What have we got? That's too many, too many, too many, too many. I'll take those two. I'm not taking all those. So we've got, with the Strength card, we've got the Three of Swords, which is about heartache. It is about, interestingly, she's got, and pointed this out the other day because this came out, I think, for Capricorn as well the other day, and this sword is literally pointing at this woman's throat here. And so you may feel, again, I feel as though it's got something to do with this energy of keeping something quiet. You may have felt as though there was a danger in expressing something here that you needed to maybe even fit in or keep things quiet. Swords, communication. It can relate to third-party energy. Like 3 people being involved in this situation. And it's come out as well with the Four of Wands over the top, so with the Strength card. So I'm feeling that it's like you're in a better situation here. It's like with the Four of Wands, there's more of a foundation. It's like you feeling your foundation. If it had come out up the other way, I would have said that the foundation was very unstable. But it feels as though you're building this foundation here, that you're slowly coming to terms with something maybe. Because this Strength card was the energy of whatever it was that you were keeping quiet, kind of draining you and keeping you and kind of keeping you locked into that same energy. And I feel that this Three of Swords has got something to do with that as well. So say it's almost like saying, like, you know, because it's at her throat chakra, it's almost like saying, you know, I can't express this, I can't say anything about it, I have to keep this to myself. But with the Four of Wands, it feels as though maybe you've been able to share it with those that you trust around you here. Because there is a foundation element within this card. There is like 4 people creating something that's got some stability in it. And it's kind of joining everything together as well. And maybe that's what you're doing. Maybe you're joining it all together in this. Because if you look, it's kind of this one long, like rope or something that's being used to, I kind of feel join things together. Maybe it's family, maybe it's friends. But it also feels like there's this kind of release of energy here as well. This sense of being able to trust. Whereas before then you may have felt you couldn't trust anybody with this secret or this part of yourself, which is what I feel it is more than anything else. It's like a part of yourself. And we've got the 7 of Cups over the top of this page of fire, which is interesting because it's looking to me like a release here. It's like everything pouring out of her head, all these emotions just suddenly kind of pouring out of her head into all these different vessels that are waiting there. And it's coming from the one vessel. And there's a dove above that vessel as well. So it's like a peace. It's like finding a peace of mind here, I feel. Finding something that's going to give you... Again, I feel as though it's got something to do with expressing something, writing something, releasing something. But in doing so, because this is your imaginative world here, this is your creative world, and it's like you're finally going to release it all. You're finally going to let it out. And it will give you peace of mind. In doing so. And it's interesting because I was talking about this here earlier, about her head being absolutely covered in all that stuff, and I'm kind of seeing that as the same thing here. But this is you finally releasing all of this, Aquarius, all of that growth and foliage, which is kind of on top of her head and kind of weighing it down. It's like, it feels like a weight on top of your head here. And this is kind of releasing that energy. Finally kind of feeling comfortable enough, maybe even secure enough to allow it to be seen or told or expressed, is how I'm seeing it. Okay, got Hierophant come out again. With the 7 of Swords here as well, over the top of the 5 of Earth. Oh, that's really interesting as well. Really interesting. Earlier on when I was looking at this card, I saw this fox down here, which I don't usually notice, and I didn't say anything about it earlier, but he's like sitting at her feet. And there's a fox here in this card as well. And the fox is kind of sneaking into the hen house here. Literally these 7 swords are kind of all there, placed ready for this wily fox to climb up the fence and climb inside. And foxes are cunning. They're cunning creatures. So maybe it's saying that you need to be cunning here, or you need to be careful. Foxes are also hunted creatures as well. Seven of Swords can often be seen as a card of self-deception or deception, which can also be self-deception. Deceiving others. Sometimes needing to play your cards close to your chest. Seven of Swords energy can be seen as being something that you feel, if you lay all your cards out on the table, then you're giving too much away too soon, all in one go. So there may be an energy of that there as well, saying kind of, you know, keep things close to your chest, because that's what she's doing here. And we have the Hierophant energy come out again here as well. But this time it did come out upright. Again, tradition. Faith. The way you do things, because it's conditioned into you. But it's upright over. So what I'm feeling here is more a sense of, even though you may have to go against other people's ideas of what is and what isn't real here, that ultimately it's going to be in your benefit to do so, Aquarius. It could upset some people with this Hierophant in reverse as well. It could be a sense of people who are very grounded in their faith or in their belief. I'm just getting this sense of people who are very traditional, just kind of like, you know, life is like this because that's how it is. Nothing ever changes. The story always stays the same. But it's more a case of you kind of saying, well, no, actually, that's not true. That's what I'm kind of getting here. Is this sense of like, you know, I've kept that belief myself for so long, but now I realise that, you know, there is the possibility of change here. And a whole world, it's like a whole world, I just get this feeling of a whole world opening up behind you. And again, with this light here, like just saying, you know, if you look to the light, if you look behind you, which is kind of looking into the past energy, again, that's where the answers lie. It's not in your immediate environment here, or in the tradition of the way that things are or have been. But there's a new story unfolding here as well. But that fox, I'm finding the fox interesting. There could be something about the fox. But I'm seeing the fox more as being of it's like an energy of protection for you somehow. Possibly by not following the traditional path. What you've learnt, or the secret that you've kept, in a way, what you've been given, what you've kind of come through with, your gift, is of a kind of higher spiritual energy, possibly here. And so it may challenge some people, maybe with that fox there as well. Some people may find it difficult to accept. But I feel as though there's a kind of element of just watch your back, maybe. Or even, would you rather, you know, maybe would you rather be the fox or would you rather be the hen here? Maybe that's also what the message is. Are you the fox or are you the hen? And the fox, of course, has the freedom as well. The fox is on the outside of this, which is maybe what this is talking about as well, which I think it is, because I'm beginning to kind of get that sense. The fox is on the outside of all of this as well. Like you can become one of the hens, like, you know, one of the flock, one of the, yeah, okay, one of the flock, one of the followers, one of the chickens that can easily be kind of beheaded or eaten, shall we say, or you can be the fox that has the freedom to take care of itself and and to enjoy its own life and kind of choose when to show itself and when not to show itself is also what I'm getting here. So interestingly, over the top of the Hierophant, we have the High Priestess. So this Hierophant energy was very much about the tradition and the conditioning, and you breaking down all of that energy, which I feel is this same thing here, saying, you know, are you going to be a part of this flock, part of this hen house, Aquarius, or are you going to go deeper within into your own intuition and your own knowledge and wisdom and connection, your own connection, like you don't need anybody else to do it for you here. That you can have this direct source of connection here with this High Priestess energy. Interestingly, she doesn't show her face there. And yeah, the moon energy, which is kind of what the horns are resembling as well, or are representative of. The kind of horns, the crescent shape of the moon, and the moon being all about the subconscious realm and the deeper, like, emotional understanding. And I'm also seeing this triangle here which is pointing down, and this triangle here which is pointing up, kind of meeting at that very center point of where the heart chakra is as well. So for me, it's kind of saying, you know, you're getting to the heart of it all, and getting to the heart of yourself here as well. Your truth, your belief, your understanding, wisdom, knowing, connection doesn't need to come through anybody else. Aquarius is how I'm picking that up. Whoops. Okay. Have the Eight of Swords over the top of this Two of Air, which I was talking about as being this kind of mesmerizing energy here. And you may feel as though you're kind of fighting brick walls. And don't feel it's so much about being trapped in a brick wall. I feel as though you may feel as though you're coming up against brick walls here. Because she's not trapped, because they're not all around her. She's not like the hen in the hen house here, who's being cooped in and kept from her own freedom. Even though by hitting these brick walls or coming up against these brick walls, there is a feeling of being trapped or being stopped or being kind of maybe even cornered in a way. Feeling as though you've got, there's no way forward. But the thing about the Eight of Swords, which is always true, is that if you take your attention off, again, it kind of fits with this as well. If you take your attention off of here and turn around and look behind, you can just walk away. You can just walk out of that situation. So you may have to go through this period of time of feeling as though you are just coming up against brick wall after brick wall of people just denying or not wanting to accept your path, your direction, your choice here, of you no longer being hypnotized and kind of tranced state of mind. If you're breaking free from something. Again, because it's swords, it is to do with the mind. It is to do with the thought processes. You know, when we've been conditioned for a long time into certain ways of being or thinking, it's very hard to just walk away from that. To just stop building those walls around us with our own heads, with our minds. It's very difficult to stop going down that negative, narrow belief about our life and our world and how things are around us. And so she's kind of attacking that wall, and at the same time, so there's these swords down here that are blunt. There's like 3 blunt swords down there, which could also represent this energy here as well. There's 3 of Swords that came out, so they're all blunt. It's like she's used them, and then there's these other 4 still waiting for her there to pick them up and to keep attacking that same wall. And this, if you remember, this 3 of Swords here was about you maybe feeling like you can't say how you really feel or express, like your throat chakra's being aimed at or blocked, or so that's kind of what I'm seeing there, and it's kind of leading to this pointed energy here as well, with these 2 swords are kind of, if you look at these 2 swords here, they're kind of creating that same shape with this wall here as well. It's kind of both leading into this energy of corners, like being cornered, trapped. But I feel also a final kind of realization here as well of kind of that you are doing this in a way. You're okay with the 5 of Cups come out over the top of this 9 of Earth energy here. And I feel as though this is you escaping for some reason. This, I'm drawn particularly to this crab. I think it's a crab. This crab up here with all these like white sparkly bits around him, where the others don't seem to have that. And again, it reminds me of this flower here, of the sparkly bits I was talking about on this flower. It's kind of the same energy, and I feel as though it's you escaping. Whereas everything else is kind of fitting in, climbing back into these pots and kind of conforming in a way. You're kind of saying, no, I'm out of here. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not conforming. I'm not holding this back any longer. I have something to say, and I'm going to say it, is how I'm picking that energy up there. Again, it's almost like, you know, escaping the fox. It's like, you know, do you want to be one of those hens, or do you want to be this fox? There is, strangely as well, I've just seen that as well, again, this energy here of the wall all caught in the corner here. And I'm not saying this is going to be an easy process, Aquarius, because I don't feel as though it is going to be an easy process, but I feel as though it's going to be a liberating process. I feel that that's really what this is about. It's about liberation of some part of yourself that has been really needing to be expressed and brought into the light, allowed to grow and flourish and not stagnate. Okay, so you get, sorry, I'm just pulling a card from the Ask and It Is Given deck by Abraham Hicks, or the entity that is known as Abraham Hicks. It's channeled by Esther Hicks, and the cards were done by Esther and Jerry Hicks. If you haven't heard of Abraham Hicks or Esther and Jerry Hicks, you may want to go online and look them up. There's a lot of information out there. The card that you have here, Aquarius, is I will love where I am right now. And it says, there is nothing that you cannot be, do or have. And we want to assist you in achieving that. But we love where you are right now, even if you do not. Because we understand how joyful the journey to where you want to go will be. And I feel as though this is you, this little bird in this cage still. You're still in this cage. And I think that that's the story that is kind of unfolding here. Because this is, as I was saying, this is your liberation and your freedom. This is your non-conformity and your, I'm out of here. So that's a lovely card to end on, Aquarius, because I think it kind of sums up the rest of this story that's unfolding here for you. So I'd just like to say thank you very much, Aquarius, for coming over to my channel and watching my videos. For those of you who have, I hope that this has been of some help to you. If it has, please could you like it up for me, thumbs it. The more thumbs I get, the more it gets out into the YouTube bigger world, where the algorithms of YouTube can then pick it up and kind of it gives it life, it keeps it going. More people can see the video and also come back to my channel, and hopefully they too will subscribe. Also, could you, if you haven't subscribed already, could those of you who would like to subscribe, please subscribe to my channel, because I really am trying to grow it at this time. I'm kind of getting just ahead of where I was before I lost a few subscribers. So I'd like to say thank you very much to those of you who have subscribed at this time. Also, please could you tap the bell so you get the future videos as and when I will be putting them out there. I will also be doing an Aquarius love reading that will be going out as well as soon as I get that done. Also, the videos I put out are all on playlists, so there's full moon, new moon videos that I always do. I'm working on the new moon that's coming up at this time, and all the zodiac signs are there as well as major shifts of energy of the planets when they move as well. Uranus is just stationed direct and is about to go retrograde in 2 days, so I'll probably do a reading on that as well. But with the new moon coming up as well, there's a lot to do at this time. So if you are interested in any of that, please subscribe to my channel and find out more. Also, please take really good care of yourselves, Aquarius, at this time. If you can take any care of anybody else as well, then please also do so. And I think I should just leave it at that. And again, say thank you very much. Hopefully see you again soon. Take care.